Welcome viewers, this is Janiser Ahmed from Millennium TV USA. I welcome you to my show News and Views. Viewers, the interesting piece of news is that late night it has poked fun at Rachel Maddows for her uh, talk show during which she tried allegedly she has been previously stating that she was going to reveal President Trump's tax returns, and she made quite a big deal out of it by stating that this was going to be the uh, big news event, so to speak, and that in this event she was going to like break a new development or a story, but that didn't happen. Viewers, it was a dud. It fell flat right on the ground, and she viewers. Previously, she announced the news on her Twitter account that she was going in her talk show, she was going to announce those tax returns, that she had got her hands on a copy of those tax returns. But viewers, what happened was that from wherever she got those tax returns during her talk show, when she announced those tax returns, they were very normal, like there was nothing wrong with them. Lawfully speaking, they were within the ambit of the law. It was previously in the time where those tax returns were filed, the other individuals such as Bernie Sanders or even Warren Buffett, their tax returns in fact were a bit lower than the ones filed by President Trump. And Rachel Maddows, she did not know at the time that what a blunder she was committing at that time, because she was trying to really make a big deal out of it, the entire event. She was trying to blow the entire episode and the entire event out of its proportion, as if there was as if President Trump, he had committed some wrongdoing, but this was not the case. She didn't know what she was doing right now. And later it were certain some comedians like Seth Meyers and others who really poked fun at her at their talk show. Viewers, this has generated a lot of questions regarding the role of press and media, particularly in the election campaign, and how media has been trying to project certain news, the events that are of its interest, and other events that it does not give as much attention. Viewers, Rachel Maddows was previously, she had been boasting of her journalistic credentials, saying that she was a journalist and it was her job to go after the news and report it to the people. And during her talk show, in fact, she stated that it was her First Amendment right to in fact announce those tax returns, where in fact, technically speaking, leaking anyone's tax returns, this is a crime. You cannot go on go on air, or or go public and announce anyone's tax returns. This is unlawful. Like this was the first thing, sort of unlawful act that she committed while she leaked the tax returns, and then she boasted of her First Amendment right, and then she even made fun of how this entire this term of fake news had been circulated, saying that she was real news, and that this piece of information that she was delivering, this was real, that this was not fake news. But this really caused quite a storm within the journalistic circles, because everyone was surprised, everyone was shocked. People were given the way that she had been previously making claims about her show and what she was going to reveal on her show. This has really launched a set of fascinations. It had stirred popular imagination, and people were wondering as to what bombshell was she going to drop during her talk show. But nothing of the sort happened. In fact, instead of trying to bring any bad color or bad rep to the entire controversy and debate. She did a very good job for President Trump by, in fact, convincing the entire public that his tax returns, they were perfectly all right, that there was nothing wrong with them, and she didn't know that what she was doing at that time, because her intention at the time seemed to be just the opposite, and that was to bring disrepute, and she miserably failed in her attempt. Viewers, there have been senior journalists, including Sean Hannity of Fox News, who during his talk show raised certain questions, whether what really makes a journalist, what are your credentials, how qualified should you be, or is it just the degree that you have, or the school or college you come from, does that enable you to come on air and be talk on anything under the sun, and you can point a finger at anyone? Does that a degree from a reputable journalism school, does that allow you, does that make you a journalist, or is there something else to it? And how these big news organizations, they need to address these concerns. Now Rachel Maddows, she works for a very reputable, one of the largest television networks in the US and in fact around the globe, and reportedly her producer at the time, even the team, the production team at the time, even they did not know what was going on, because people, there were tens of thousands of people, they were tuned into the TV station at the time, and they were wondering what's going on, is it good, is it bad, what to make of it, what is she trying to really convey. So viewers, this episode of Rachel Maddows, this really feeds into the entire narrative of fake news that we have been seeing. This enables people, this enables the critics, particularly of the press, to launch a barrage of criticism against the press, because it is the news reports of the sort that really tarnish the image of journalism in particular, because now people have something to say against media, and now they can refer to this one particular incident and saying that, look, here was a journalist of the nation's leading media house, and in fact she had millions of viewers, and this is what she did. She didn't even know what she was talking about, and she really blew it up completely, instead of trying to what she had been promising her viewers. She ended up doing just the opposite, that she did not know, she had not done even her homework, and this is why the people calling certain media outlets as fake news, now they really, they seem to be having a point, viewers, and this is really not good for journalism, for free information, freedom of speech particularly, because now at the end of the day, it again brings to the fore the question that the media producers, the media houses, they should do some kind of a double check before hiring media anchors or journalists, because now here is a show where you have a host that has millions and millions, if not billions of viewers, and they are tuned into the TV sets and listening to you from that pulpit and believing whatever you have to say. But at the end of the day, it suddenly turns out that that's not the case, that one very famous anchor, she doesn't know her job, she doesn't even know what she was talking about. So that's the reason why we have been seeing this huge amount of criticism being heaped on the media, a segment of media, for indulging in sensationalism, or for that matter, trying to indulge in defamation, trying to injure someone's reputation, trying to harm someone's reputation and credentials. And that's what journalism is not about. Journalism is about totally, it's about reporting. whatever you have seen, the facts that you have gathered, you have to report it to the public and without any element of opinion. And that is the reason, viewers, newspapers, they have a different segment, like 2 to 3 pages in every newspaper allocated to opinion only. But there are no facts. Reporting, reportage, so to speak, is different from opinion, and that is why they have different sections within a newspaper and on the media channels itself. But electronic media seems to be a different proposition at all, where journalists, the anchors who have this tremendous freedom to talk about whatever they feel like, they sometimes tend to go the extra mile and perhaps commit some kind of they try to cross the limits, and this is what has happened in this particular case. Viewers, this is why she became the object of derision. In fact, when we saw famous nations leading comedians poking fun at her, in fact, journalistic careers, comedians who in fact shouldn't be doing this. Viewers, take a look at this footage.
Now revealed 2 pages of Donald Trump's 2005 tax return. She showed on the show that he made $150 million that year and paid 25% tax. I mean, do you understand what this means? Seriously, I'm asking. I don't. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it low? Is it high?
Last night, Rachel Maddow aired an exclusive report on how to stretch out an hour. Who produced that segment? Ryan Seacrest?
Rachel took us on an emotional roller coaster because, like a roller coaster, at the end, you're right back where you started and feeling a little queasy.
It definitely seems like Trump found it. For example, for dependents, he wrote Ivanka, Don Jr., and what's her name? For tax-exempt interest, he wrote, I'm very interested in being tax-exempt. And you go, that's not the question.
Welcome, viewers. Viewers, first daughter Ivanka Trump caught up with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and wife Sophie at a Broadway play. Viewers, this caused quite a sensation, with people thronging to the side, taking pictures, and the leaders, they were seen in a very joyful mood. Viewers, just a Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, he has in fact earned a name for himself for championing the rights of women. In Canada, he has been taking a number of steps in order to empower women. For instance, he has been increasing the number of women that are going to be employed by different state at the state level and state agencies. In fact, also, viewers, previously when he came here to the U.S., he met President of the United States, Donald Trump, at Washington, D.C., and the entire meeting, it went very well. It was held in an atmosphere of mutual friendship. It was quite a cordial atmosphere, viewers, and that was appreciated by people from both the nations, viewers. Also, at a time when one reporter asked the Canadian Prime Minister regarding for instance, it was quite a tough question to ask at that time, but the response from the Canadian Prime Minister was very diplomatic, and in fact indicating that both the nations, they were closer than ever, and in fact a change in the White House did not reflect a change in their relationship, that they were still close friends. Viewers, Justin Trudeau is a thorough gentleman, and he has been seen as a kind of a person who likes to stand up for women rights, viewers. And this time around, when he was here at Broadway in New York, he caused quite a sensation. Like, he is seen to be as a people's person, viewer, and that is the reason hence his popularity ratings, they have been going up. Viewers, also at the event was United Nations Ambassador Nikki Haley, who accompanied both the leaders at the event. Viewers, this was quite a pleasant surprise for, in fact, a respite for the New Yorkers who gathered at the site and took photographs, and also good for the press because they had something positive to report from Broadway. Viewers, moving on, we have another interesting news. In fact, where a company called Memphis Meat, it has been able to produce the first chicken strip from an animal cell. Viewers, this is a big discovery, and this, in fact, an invention, a kind of a step forward so far as science is concerned, and particularly where our food is concerned. Food security, of course, is quite an issue, and people, because of the rising population, questions are being raised about people not getting enough food. With the famine going on in some countries in Africa, this really causes quite a concern. But in the long term, we have this now assurance from these companies doing work in the field that perhaps one day in time there will be enough food for everyone to eat, and that no one will go to bed on an empty stomach. So viewers, this company called Memphis Meat, it had been doing experiments for a very long time indeed, but recently it announced that it was successful, that it was able to produce the first chicken strip which looks like a chicken patty, in fact, creating from an animal cell. So this does not require that live chickens are slaughtered for that matter. So that entire process, that will no longer be needed. In fact, now the chickens, these chicken strips, if you will, they can be produced in a lab, and because this is also good for the animal rights activists who have been saying that humans, they should turn to eating vegetables, and they should stop from eating meat because it is cruel to animals, that if you eat chicken, this amounts to cruelty to the animal that has been slaughtered in order to become food for you. But now with this latest and fantastic step forward, that particular concern has been taken care of, because now we will have chickens, in fact chicken strips and food being prepared inside a lab. Viewers, the company also stated that for at least for now, do not expect your grocery store or your convenience store to have these chicken strips in their freezer, because it is going to take some time in order for the company to produce these strips at a larger scale, and not until 2020 or 2021 will they be able to produce chicken strips at a larger scale, so that they'll be able to, by that time, they will have products in great quantities, and that they will be able to market it, to sell it to the public at large. But right now it is it costs too much. For instance, the company stated that it costs around $9,000 to produce just one chicken strip, and that is really a great amount of money to be wasted. But this is not a waste, because eventually this is going to lead to something positive, and one day we will see our local grocery stores and supermarkets carrying and in fact selling these lab produced chickens, and which will be quite beneficial for everybody, because this really tells us that perhaps the time is not far away when enough food can be produced for the entire humanity, and in fact people will have enough to eat. Viewers, the company also stated, in fact, that the Americans, they spend close to $90 billion per year on chicken, and the company stated that while chicken products are delicious and satisfying, the process by which they are made is not. It involves environment degradation, animal welfare concerns, and public health care risks. Viewers, the company in fact had to make this statement because it calls this latest product as clean meat, clean chicken, and this is primarily this is going to be okay with the animal rights activists and animal rights bodies who have been arguing on behalf of animals, and now this they will be very happy to hear of this news that from now on there is hope that in near future that the cruelty to animals it can be prevented, and that's a quite a step forward. Viewers, here we'll be taking a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be back in a while. Welcome viewers. Viewers, in this section we'll be including news from local news from South Asia, where news from India is that the Election Commission, it has stated quite unequivocally that it believes completely in the infallibility of its electronic voting machines, that its electronic voting machines, also known as EVMs, they are impeccable and that they cannot be hacked, or and there is nothing that can harm the integrity of the Indian electoral process. Viewers, the Election Commission stated it quite clearly that it had not received any complaint from any politician or any individual regarding the reliability of the voting machines, but it stated and it tried to assure the people that if it receives any such complaint, it will try to look into the matter and do the needful. But for the time being, it assured the nation that it was confident and it had complete faith in the reliability of the EVMs, and that people should not worry. And all those reports raising such questions, they were baseless. Viewers, India has been a very strong democracy. In fact, democracy has been growing there for quite some time now, and different generations, they have been growing with this umbrella of democracy over their heads, and this is sort of a good news for the people, because it empowers them, it gives them the choice to select their leaders, in fact elect their leaders through a very fair process of election, with now recent changes being made. Here's this electronic system of voting. It was introduced a couple of years back. In fact, it was made part of the democratic system close to 2013, and then it was tested and it was seen that it could be relied upon, that there was nothing wrong with this system, and people, they started to trust it, viewers. But this really shows that the political system, it also is evolving. The ballot system, perhaps we have been seeing now there are a number of countries where claims, in fact complaints of rigging are way too common, and it all at the end of the day revolves around the paper ballot system, that it is more easy to rig the process when you have the paper ballots in process compared to electronic voting machines, which are way harder to impeach or to hack. So viewers, this is why the Indian Election Commission, it has assured the nation that they should not worry. But viewers, as happens with all politics and all perhaps democracies, there is always somebody who disagrees, because that happens to be one of the strengths of democracy. That's how democracy grows. People have the right to speak their mind, and no one minds that. So in India this time around, the leader of the Aam Aadmi Party and the Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, he has expressed serious questions regarding the reliability of the electronic voting machines, saying that he knows that they were tampered with, and that he can cite certain examples. Viewers, now this claim recently was also reportedly supported by a segment in the Congress, which stated that what he was saying was true. But the election commission, it has strongly rejected those claims, although it stated that it did not directly receive a complaint from the Aam Aadmi Party. But if it receives any such complaint, it will try to look into the matter and do the needful. But so far, so good, because as a precautionary measure, the Election Commission of India, it has introduced a kind of electronic verification system by which people will be able to keep track of their vote and the place, the time, and the state where they cast their vote. So they will have a record of that voting process, viewers, and they will be issued receipts which will have all the data on it. So now there are close to 15 lakh machines, electronic voting machines, that still need to be equipped with this receipt system. But already was close to many millions of electronic voting machines. They already have been equipped with this system. So there is only a small portion of the EVMs that need to be updated, and the Election Commission of India, it has stated that it is working on towards that end, and it will hopefully very soon be able to complete that process. So viewers, that is the way forward for democracy. Democratic nations, they move forward by making their entire electoral process more impeccable. It is a concern that one of the major, in fact leading parties in India, they have been asking questions, raising questions regarding the reliability of the EVMs, which are very crucial to democracy right now. But on the other hand, we have been seeing the Election Commission come forward and assure the nation that there is no such, the EVMs, they are quite impeccable and strong, that there is nothing wrong with them, that the people can actually trust them. Viewers, with the advancement in technology, we have been seeing that these EVMs, they are turning out to be a blessing for democracy, because at the end of the day, what it does is to take away your, the limit on part of the politicians, where they can, engage in finger pointing. So they do not have now much room to place, point a finger of accusation or try to lay the blame at their opponents' doors when they have themselves not done enough and lost the elections, because now they know that it is the electronic system telling them, and the machines and the electronic systems, they do not lie unless they have been hacked into. But if they are not, they will tell you the truth, and that is what has happened in India. And politicians, they now have to accept the reality of the elections, and in fact they have to accept that this is the judgment of the people, which must be respected. So viewers, quite a day for Indian democracy, where it seems it is very positive to see those gadgets come into the field and do their work. Viewers, here I will be taking a quick break. I will be back in a while. Welcome viewers. At a conference, economic conference held at Dhaka, different economists, and in fact the state minister for foreign affairs, who was also present at the occasion, they stated that the Bangladeshi nation, it must take adequate steps in order to prepare itself for becoming a developing country by 2024, and coming out of its the current LDC status, and this is considered to be a major leap forward for the country. So the experts, they unanimously stated that the nation, it has close to like 10 years before it can prepare itself for that next level, where different the advantages or the preferential treatment its a segment of its economy it has been getting, that will come to an end, and because it will have a greater say in international economy, because it will be considered as an economic powerhouse. So viewers, there is a need to the according to the participants and panelists, the entire education system, they also appreciated what it was doing in order to develop and prepare entrepreneurs, and the fact that the entire economic indicators of the Bangladeshi nation, they have been showing positive results, viewers, and of course this credit goes to the current Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina Wajid, who has been very categorically placing focus on uplifting the country and placing great importance on economic development. For instance, one of the mainstays of her policies, in fact you can call it like wherever she goes, for instance, recently she was in Germany, where she talked with the German Chancellor Angela Merkel, and one of the issues that cropped up was the economic development, and how both the countries could really benefit from the economic cooperation. So viewers, these economic indicators as expressed by a group of panelists at Dhaka show that the country is on its way towards a fast-paced economic development. Very good for the Bangladeshi nation, the Bangladeshi youth in particular, because this is one of the few countries in the whole world which boasts of a tremendous human capital, young human capital, that in fact that can be a boon for the entire region and not just for itself. So viewers, positive indicators there for Bangladesh. Viewers, moving on, we have interesting news from Pakistan, where Peshawar Zalmi, it announced that it was going to dedicate, in fact, give away 10% of its prize money to Shaukat Khanum Cancer Memorial Hospital, and which is run by, of course, Imran Khan. This is his charity. Viewers, this was announced by Peshawar Zalmi owner Javed Afridi, who made this statement, and this comes as quite a relief so far as the cricket front is concerned, and Imran Khan, of course, is going to appreciate that. He is going to like this decision, of course. Viewers, Peshawar Zalmi, it won the final, PSL final, and it was led by the West Indies captain Darren Semi, who in fact who was the skipper of West Indies when it won two in fact World Cups, T20 World Cups. So viewers, previously PSL, it had generated quite a controversy, in fact a storm of controversy inside Pakistan due to security concerns, where in fact Imran Khan, he was not happy with the fact that PSL was going to be held in Lahore, which a city which previously had been rocked by certain incidents, security incidents, and that, according to Imran Khan, did not bode well for the team and team's security. But at the end of the day, he also lashed at the at the policy of holding international matches outside of Pakistan. For instance, the fact that most of the matches of PSL, they were held in United Arab Emirates and not in Pakistan, where only the final was held, and that really kind of in a way it backfired, because the one of a few of the leading players such as Kevin Peterson and others, they decided that they were not going to come to Lahore, and they announced that, and it really shocked a number of people. It was it did not go very well with the cricket lovers in Pakistan, who had been expecting the return of international cricket in Pakistan that previously had been rocked by certain controversies, and where the big players they were not willing to come to and play inside the country. So viewers, at the end of the day, this the PSL final, it went very well, and it really is a good step forward for the return of international cricket inside Pakistan, because this gives hope to the other teams around the world that Pakistan is a safe place where they can come and play, and that there are a lot of cricket lovers out there who will be cheering them on. But viewers, this step by the Peshawar Zalmi, this is really going to help the cancer patients fighting this terrible disease. This prize money, 10% of the prize money, it also symbolizes the good will, and that this has been sent in good faith, and that this is going to boost the morale of the people running the Shaukat Khanum Cancer Memorial Hospital. Viewers. So viewers, we hope you like our show. Our intention is to bring news that matters most to you, snippets of news from all over the world, and also the news that matters most to you from your very own region, your countries, in South Asia, viewers. Also, if you have any comments or anything to say, just write to us at info@millenniumtv.org, and do visit us at millenniumtv.org. This is your very own host, Janiser Ahmed from Millennium TV USA. Until the next show, goodbye.